The Darling River Run, a trip we just can't get enough of.
That looks pretty good to me.
Join us in this episode as we make our way towards Wentworth, where the Darling and the Murray rivers meet.
Welcome back to another episode of our adventures along the Darling. Yeah, we're just leaving Lake Pamamaru, to head down through Menindee itself. We'll go in there and top up our water that we've used a fair bit, and that'll take us down to Garry. We'll probably camp down there. There's a couple of free camps. It was interesting over the last couple of days being here how the first come, best dressed rule applies. You just turn up. But anyway, we're heading down the road. It's interesting, we'll almost say that we won't have any troubles, but they closed the road last night back to Menindee. It rained a fair bit yesterday and last night. This morning's just perfect, but there's also quite a bit of wind. So I wouldn't be surprised in the least bit if there's a non-event when it comes to the road.
Garry was right. The issue with the road was a non-event.
And here we go, Lake Menindee. Holds 5 times the amount of water of the Sydney Harbour. Just looking at some of these trees, you can see the high tide mark. The river levels were up around here. Probably more visible on the tree next to us. And that would equate to what they were saying there at Trilby Station, where over the past week before we got there, the water levels had dropped 6 metres. So that would bring us up about 6 metres above the current water level there. It's flowing. Just a nice steady flow downstream. Heading on down to Wentworth. We've got about, I think it's about 120 something kilometres down to Wentworth, and Wentworth is where the Darling meets the Murray. So we're going to be having a bit of a look around down there. We might spend a bit of time down there. But the Darling River, it's one of Australia's longest rivers. And this here, Garry, that's how you pronounce it, was an absolutely thriving riverboat port. And when you think about the number of riverboats that were on the Murray and the Darling, they were moving millions of tonnes of produce, predominantly wool, backwards and forwards from as far away as Burke. And when you're looking at snags, trees down in the river, how did the paddle steamers deal with things like that? And then further downstream, there's more snags. somebody would have had to go to the trouble of pulling those things out. I know on the Murray, from things that I've heard and read, there's many paddle steamers sunk because of snags like that. And when you look over here, they're just protruding out of the water, pointing that way, just waiting for a hole. So when we get down to Wentworth, we'll put the inflatable in and we'll come up the Darling a little bit. We'll have a look around on the Murray as well. You'll be able to see the difference in the colour of the water in the junction there of the rivers. So we're going to be jumping in the truck. That's the beauty of coming out in places like this here. In the expedition truck, we're just doing it with ease. It's comfortable. We can cover the distances without any problems. Yeah. One of the beauties about some of these campgrounds is a number of the areas, like this one here included, are pet friendly. So you can bring along your pet. There's a lady and her husband here with their 2 dogs and the bird. Just don't go into the national parks with dogs. They're very strict on that.
We decided we'd hop into the Wee Jimmy and cross over the border into Mildura, which is in Victoria. We spent a beautiful day on the Murray River on the paddle steamer Melbourne.
Start bringing it this way. We're just going to be careful. There's a bit of a reef over there where they go around.
Well, that was impressive. It was nostalgic, all that. The old Melbourne, PS Melbourne, paddle steamer Melbourne, used to be used, and I wondered about this, to clear snags and that there in the Murray and the Darling. And with a great big winch and that on the front, and it would pull the snags and the rivers clear. I knew there'd be someone. There was 3 ships apparently, 3 steamers doing it. This was one of them, among other jobs that it's had, but now it's just a passenger ferry, and the last paddle steamer that is actually steam driven. The rest are diesel. Very happy, very impressed.